Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Susie with Gemini Connect, and I'm here today to talk about the Peak Design Everyday Backpack. Now this is a brand new camera bag that I've had. I've been using it for the last month and a half, doing a lot of travel with it. And so I'm here to give my thoughts about why this is my new camera bag and why I recommend it. Let me start by talking about why I chose a camera backpack. In fact, I've been using a messenger bag for the last 7 years. It's been a think tank retrospective messenger bag. It's a really awesome bag. I still highly recommend it. It can carry a lot of gear. The issue is that it's a messenger bag, so it tends to sit on one shoulder. So I wanted a backpack because the backpack seemed like it'd be more ergonomic and it would really spread that weight to both shoulders. I also went with a backpack because I wanted the ability to carry not only my camera gear, but also my laptop. So I wanted a bag that could carry both camera gear and a laptop and not be terribly heavy. So actually, prior to the Peak Design bag, I was using the In-Case DSLR Pro Pack. Now this is also a really, really awesome camera bag. It actually opens from the back. So you access your gear from the back, and as you can see, there is plenty of storage in here. And I've been able to carry not only camera gear, like lenses and bodies, but I've also been able to stick tripods, some of my light stands, so I can fit almost my whole portable studio in this bag. And you know, like this back is actually really soft and really comfortable. So even if I'm carrying a lot of gear in here, it's just been a really awesome bag. And actually from the front, there's a lot of space. There's a laptop sleeve and still enough space so you can throw in a jacket. You could basically make this your weekend bag and have all your camera gear and laptop gear in it. So this has been a really great bag for me. I still actually highly recommend it, but the issue with it is that it's actually just slightly too big. So when I was shooting with my Canon DSLRs, this was a great option, or if I'm having to carry a lot of studio gear, it's really great, but it's a little on the bulky side. So for those times when I'm maybe staying in the city and I just want a smaller, more compact bag that also looks pretty stylish, the Peak Design Everyday Backpack has been a really great alternative. And so, first of all, it just looks really great. I mean, it doesn't even look like a camera bag, and that was part of the reason why Peak Design made the backpack look like this. So you can actually use it not only to carry camera gear, but you could use it just as a laptop bag, as a weekend day pack. There's all kinds of ways to use this bag. So the way that you access it, you can access it from the top through this magnetic latch and get in through the top. But there are also some side panels here that zipper open, and then you can store your gear sideways and access it on the fly. So this has actually been a really, really cool way just to store my gear and just quickly access it. And I've been traveling with it in California, Florida, and on those trips, as I've been accessing my gear this way, I've actually had a lot of people just stop me in the street and be like, what bag is that? It looks really cool. I like how you access it from the side. So I'm not the only one who's found this to be a really cool feature. So the Peak Design Everyday Backpack, it comes in the 20 liter and the 30 liter size. This is the 20 liter size. And again, because I've been switching to Sony Mirrorless and shooting with that more and more, I decided that the 20 liter bag was probably going to be enough for me, and it really has been. So typically, I'm substituting the Fujifilm because I'm using the Sony right now to film this, but normally this would be my Sony a7R III with the 24-70 f4 lens on it, right here in the middle, and my 24-240 telephoto zoom lens, a flash, and spare batteries, and an external battery pack for charging my camera or my phone. And that is typically my kind of on-the-go setup. I can do a majority of my event and restaurant photo shoots this way. So that all fits very nicely in this bag with room to spare. And so these dividers in here are actually really rigid. So unlike some of the other camera bags that have dividers that are really soft, these really, stay in place, and so you know that your gear is being really well protected in here. And they also fold down. So you can rearrange your gear in such a way that you can almost create like a shelf And so your camera body or your lens is like really snug in here. Then you have a shelf of just extra space. And what I tend to do is, this is a discontinued travel tripod that actually is not the sturdiest, but it is really sturdy for the size. And so I can stick this little tripod in here. And this way I have a full camera setup, including a tripod, in this bag. And here is the back side of it. So the other cool part is the back panel here has the padding to kind of keep it comfortable in your back, but it's also, there's some space between it, and it's meant to go on like the luggage rack of your luggage, so that you can easily just stick it on top of your rolling suitcase. But there's a bit of a gap, and so you can actually stick other things like in this back panel area. So I've been sticking my reflector back here because it just fits really nicely, because this reflector obviously doesn't quite fit in your backpack, so I just stick it in the back and it gives me even some extra padding. So that's been a nice little compartment there that I've actually been making use of. So the straps here are padded. There's also a chest strap, connects to the front. It's not the easiest thing to connect, unfortunately, but it is really sturdy once you get it in there. So that's how you store it, and if you wanted to actually wear it, you can attach it to the side like that. There's also some side pockets here. They're fairly flexible and expandable. You could stick a water bottle. Right here I have my memory card case, and I lost one recently, which was not good. So since then I've had a tether, and so I make sure that I tether it to my bag, and also put a little tile on it, so I really can't misplace that now. And more flexible side pockets on the side. And so the bag actually has 2 side pockets that you can access it. So there's basically a top and a bottom. And so I actually choose to only use one side, because one of the issues with this bag is that if you fill it with too much stuff, these zippers will actually start to separate. I use these little flaps that are attached to the zipper, and I just make sure that they're secure like that, so that the zippers can't get any further than that, and my stuff stays pretty secure in here. Now from the top, you have your typical laptop sleeve. This is my 15-inch MacBook Pro, and that fits really snugly in here. The bag's exterior material is waterproof, and also the zippers are waterproofed, so you can basically walk in the rain with this. I wouldn't necessarily go out in a downpour, but you can more or less rest assured that your bag is going to be pretty safe from the rain without having to use a waterproofing sleeve. There actually is no sleeve that comes with this bag, unfortunately. Most other bags do come with it, but this bag actually does not. And the other pockets actually have just a bunch of little straps hidden in here, so if you really wanted to, you could attach a tripod out to the front like this, or just whatever, attach any other bigger items that don't quite fit in the bag out front like this. And when you're not using them, these straps just easily hide in the side pockets. Okay, so in the back, they're extremely well hidden. Waist straps. So these straps come out, and there's these metal buckles that buckle up front, so if you really need a little bit of extra support, there are waist straps. And again, like, they're nicely hidden. What I don't like about some of these other bags is that their straps are just so big and bulky. So this bag has really, really nicely hidden straps that are actually still functional whenever you do need them. It is a great bag as long as you don't have a whole lot of stuff in it, because the heavier it gets, the more uncomfortable it gets. It's a good idea to divide your equipment into maybe something different, like a belt pack, because you typically should not be shooting with this backpack on in a lot of cases. So you'd end up taking this backpack off and maybe leaving it somewhere, and the belt pack is actually what I would typically be wearing as I'm actively shooting. So I'd put something like a spare lens and maybe the flash in here, and then put those extra lenses inside of the backpack, and then kind of just distribute the weight that way. So using these two things in conjunction is a good solution if you need to carry more things than normal. So This is a great bag if you're just using lightweight mirrorless gear. Not so great if you're going to use really heavy DSLR gear. So it's a really versatile bag and it looks really good, and the material is actually really nice. The only problem with it is that the material is kind of rigid, and it doesn't really loosen up over time, and that's also why it gets a little uncomfortable when you're wearing it for long periods of time.